Why don't you look at her? Can you tell us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you ask him about the what the exhibit is? How did it?
Well, it's an immense clash of various.
Can you go back?
Sorry, I didn't
and
intend.
you can answer.
What did I say?
Otherwise, it won't make sense.
For me, it was an immense clash of course, the easiest thing to say, poor and extremely rich, but also very sort of Soviet Union old school,
Yeah.
and this crazy tons of young women and extremely rich cars and so much luxury, and it's just a bit insane. You know,
It's
you
such
go
a
to a
wide
nightclub and
contrast.
then you have to, and
Yes.
there's like you have to go through a metal detector for the guns, and I got picked up in a limousine which was black scratched out, and there was a bodyguard with a gun in front and a thing there, and you drive through the city and you think, whoa, am I in some bad film or in a good film? I don't know. That is.
And that is what your work portrays, you know, it's like very raw, hard images, and also soft, you know, the beauty, the trying to break away from Soviet Union, and
yeah,
you know,
and it's also what I like about it is, in a way, it's not everything is not so politically correct there. You know, they do things in their own way.
Yeah.
Here, or a lot of times in Europe, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't say this, you can't say, you know, and there it just seems like anything goes.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember being stuck in a traffic jam, and then I've been to Moscow too, and that's even more crazy. Where cars just drive on the boardwalk, you know, and people kind of have to jump into the bushes, and the car just drives there. It just would never happen. Or in the kind of in a zone where you kind of just people walk, and then suddenly out of nowhere, some Harley Davidson came down on a stairs, and you just would not get away with stuff like that. You know.
What was your reaction? Was it a positive or a negative one, or was it just a?
Well, I also like the kind of enthusiasm of the young people I encountered there. You know, they're very
Talented.
I wouldn't say
just
naive, but it's a sort of a very. Everything here, for example, is very cynical.
Yeah.
And there doesn't seem to be cynicism there. It's just they're gathering the information. They're hungry for this. They want to see this. They want to see this film. They want to go here, and everything. And it seems just very refreshing.
Very good. Thank you.
Good. Can we get you now? So can you show her maybe a couple of pictures here in particular that maybe you could talk about how you thought of it, and then maybe one or two in the other room on the wall?
Sure.
And Tatiana, do you want to get next to him? Maybe you can stay on that. Do you wish we could shoot her on the other side?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Can we put you on the other side?
This thing I was really amazed when I came across that. That was actually in the middle of the winter. It was freezing, and I've seen this kind of Mad Max outside gym where she's doing exercises, and in these outfits where you think you wouldn't exercise in.
Right, jeans.
Yeah, and they're so tight and everything, and it just looks so hardcore.
I wouldn't think that this was, you know, a place where you would exercise.
It's amazing. It was really beautiful, and the sound of the metal was amazing. And for me, that was like hilarious. This picture. There's a guy walking around.
It says
touch me. that would just never happen in Europe, or in Europe. I'm saying like in Germany or England or America.
Yeah,
that is
Western
just so
Europe.
insane. And to explain the kind of madness. I mean, it's this picture where you see some drunken people there, and their friends. Their friends, you know, sticking the stuff on them and everything. And for me, a key picture was Was this
Yeah.
where the idea of where is the Ukrainians going, and I don't know, I have no idea where the Ukrainians going, but this is the most expensive handbag in the world. It's like a Louis Vuitton special edition handbag, and I just thought, I have a naked girl, putting her in the woods and putting this handbag over her, and I let her run. Where are the Ukrainians going?
Yeah, with
Because
all this
where are they heading
stuff.
to? Yeah.
It's like raw, you know, still preserved nature, but yet there's an extreme of luxury and.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is here. You know, there's this completely old
The
car,
old car and the
new car,
new.
Louis Vuitton, and the whole thing. So.
Such a contrast. What about this? It's something that.
Well, I just think that just shows the decadence of the whole thing. And the madness.
What about this one? What were you trying to show?
Well, you know, I don't want to explain my work too much, but I mean, you can imagine what there's going on in a way. But funny enough, she's a friend of mine. She's a model, and that's her mom. But it's just this sort of madness of young girls in Ukraine.
Yeah.
They just come from everywhere, and you know, God knows what they're doing. What else should I do?
Maybe one on the wall. Is this too light? No, that's all right. Okay.
And this is the new.
This is the new Marc Jacobs campaign, and
the
we used Victoria Beckham for it. And
Collects.
for me, it kind of counterbalances it. It works because she's like the most photographed woman in the world through paparazzi and everything else. And
So you,
we used her for the Marc Jacobs ad, and we thought kind of in a way she's kind of a product, and the kind of excessiveness of fashion is handbags
So you put
and
her in a
shoes and
bag.
everything. And I put her in an oversized bag, and it doesn't really matter whether you see her face or not. But that, in a way, for me, this work and what I've done in Ukraine is sort of related with this sort of excessness of capitalism. That was all right, right?
yes.
I think we got what we needed.
Yeah?
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you for your